You're listening to the Tao of Indifference, sex, dating, and relationship advice for an indifferent world. For more advice and tips, check out taoofindifference.com or follow us on Twitter at indifferent_D.
Hello, listeners, and welcome to episode 10. Today will be marking a tiny milestone for me. It's the 10th episode of the Tao of Indifference. I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited. Today's topic is going to be 10 greatest hits. Now, my 10 greatest hits are some topics that I'm either asked about all the time or people just ask about in general. Not to me specifically, but everywhere else I've written about them. And I just wanted to get sort of top 10 things that people are talking about when it comes to dating. Now, without further ado, number 1, how do I prevent social media from ruining my relationship? That answer is simple. Avoid oversharing. Avoid it completely. Whether it's your current relationship drama, how much you're in love, or just random details about your relationship, don't put it out there for the world to consume. People can know that you're in a relationship. People can see pictures of your significant other, but you don't want to tell the world when you're fighting. You don't want to tell the world how much you love the thing that they do for you. You don't want to tell the world where you guys are going on vacation and what your future plans are. You don't need to tell Facebook that. You talk to your friends about it in private, but keep it off of Facebook, keep it off of Twitter. Definitely keep it off of Tumblr. And really sort of keep your clean and dirty laundry out of the streets. The internet, social media streets. All right, number 2. What makes for a great date bar? Well, I'm just going to run through them. First of all, proximity. Your date bar should be equal distance between where your date lives and where you live, as long as that neighborhood's nice. If you live in Washington Heights and the person you're going on a date with lives in Riverdale, maybe there's not a great date bar in between there. I'm not sure. I don't hang out up there. But it should be close to you both without being a terrible place to hang out. I think at that point it's just the river, if I'm not mistaken. If we're talking about equal distance. The bar should not be crowded and not empty. It's a tough balance to find, especially if you're going on dates on a Tuesday, but get a bar that's not packed to the brim and get a bar that's not just you and the guy who starts drinking at noon and there's no sports on and it's Tuesday. You want to have a good crowd. You don't want it to be too rowdy, so that means no frat bars, no college bars. Even if you are in college, don't go to a college bar. No sports bars, especially if there's a major sports event going on, unless this is specifically a sports watching date. And you also want to be in the middle of cheap and really expensive. You want to avoid going to the dive bar unless that's your scene and her scene or his scene. And you also don't want to go to the nicest bar you can think of. You want to go in the middle, because if it's a first date, you don't want to spend too much money and then find that you don't like the person. If it's a second date, you don't want to spend too much money on somebody you just met, really. Save the nice bar for when you're actually dating someone seriously. Good lighting, which is important. You don't want it to be as bright as a classroom or as dark as a club, and somewhere in between, of course. You want good sound and or good music. You don't want them blasting techno while you're trying to enjoy a beer with your date. And you also don't want it to be completely silent in the bar. So that's how you find a good date bar. All right. Number 3. How can I recognize if I've been rejected? Quickly. Was the rejection obvious? You ask them, are you interested in me? They say no. Are they ignoring you? You're texting, you're calling, they're not picking up. It's been several days. Do your friends think you've been rejected? If you answered yes to any of these, you have been rejected. And that's the short answer. Okay, number 4. Should I use Tinder? Is it only for hookups? Can I meet someone and find a real relationship from Tinder? Yes, you should use Tinder if you are single and looking to meet new people. and you want a low-stakes way of meeting new people. No, it is not only for hookups. You can meet someone and date them, which leads into, can I meet someone and find a relationship? Yes. Tinder is much like life. You make of it what you will. People do use Tinder to hook up. People do use Tinder to meet new people and just hang out. People use Tinder to make relationships happen. It is what it is. Yes, it will be harder to make relationships come out of Tinder use, but that's true of any online dating site or dating in general. A lot of people, especially straight men, tend toward trying to hook up with people, and a lot of women, especially straight women, tend toward trying to look for a relationship. It just is how, that's how it works out. But use Tinder if you're single, and especially if you want to meet somebody and not commit to a huge Match.com or eHarmony sort of commitment. Number 5, how do I avoid this friend zone, and how do I get out of it if I'm in the friend zone? All right, this is how you avoid the friend zone. 1, treat the person that you're talking to, or this person who maybe you are attracted to, as a human being. What I mean by that is, if you're first talking to this person, you haven't said flat out that you're attracted to them, treat them the way you would treat your friends of the friends that you have that you are not attracted to, or of the gender or sex that you're not attracted to. So if you're a straight man and you're talking to a straight woman, and this is the person you're attracted to, and all they do is talk about how terrible their ex is, call them out on it. Don't let it just be you're the shoulder to cry on and you bring nothing, and they bring nothing to your friendship. Call them out on it. Treat them like you would treat your friends. If you're a straight guy and all your straight guy friends would be to complain about their ex, you would say something to them like, dude, it sucks. That's all you talk about. Please stop. Treat them as you would anyone else. Next, fairly shortly once you figured out if you're attracted to someone, tell them. You want to make sure that they are aware that you are attracted to them. And that way they can pretty easily just say, I am also attracted to you. Let's hang out. Or I am not attracted to you. I don't find you attractive in that way. I think you're great, etc. Once that happens, you need to determine, am I the type of guy who is okay with being friends with a girl? Or I'm using straight man, straight woman in this case. Am I the type of guy who is okay being friends with a girl who I am attracted to? If the answer is no, don't hang out with him. Just tell him straight up, sorry, I don't think I can be friends with somebody who I'm attracted to. If you are the type of person who has friends who are attractive, but yet you can still treat them like humans after that, even though they're not attracted to you, be friends with them. That's not the friend zone. That's just having a friend. Now, how do I get out of the friend zone? First of all, you need to be assertive. Tell this person you're attracted to them. Same thing. If you feel like you're already in the friend zone and you haven't asked them out, ask them out. If they say no, listen to my advice before. Figure out if you're the type of guy who can be friends with someone who is not attracted to them. If it's yes, be friends. You're not in the friend zone. You're the only one who can put yourself in the friend zone. If it's no, don't be friends with them anymore. You probably weren't really friends. You just wanted to date them. Happens all the time. Number 6. How do I get a friends with benefits? How do I get a friends with benefits relationship? So, be upfront about what you want. Whether it's in online dating or in person, you tell someone, I'm not looking for relationships. I'm looking for someone that I can hook up with casually, etc. You figure out what you want and you tell them. They're either going to say no, which is likely, it's not a problem, or yes. If they say yes, have an open conversation about expectations. Do you want someone who is on call whenever you call them? Do you want to plan your hookups? Do you hang out outside of a bedroom? These are the things you need to hash out and say, this is what I want. They say yes, these are my expectations. Do these work for you? And then continue to keep an open dialogue. Maybe one of you develops feelings and wants a relationship. You should be able to communicate that with that person. It's always better to be upfront about these things because 9 times out of 10, people will just say, yes, no, I'm actually interested. I'm not really looking for a relationship. I'm sort of being single, doing my own thing. It happens all the time. 7, should I try online dating? Well, 60% of Americans surveyed think that is a good way to meet people. right? 66% of Americans surveyed said that they've tried online dating. So the answer is pretty obvious. Yes, you should try online dating if you haven't already. And just to be clear, I'm not talking to specifically my age group. I'm not talking to 20s, 30s. I'm talking to everybody who's legal to date and have sex. So that 66% of the people surveyed is 10% in the age group to 18 to 24, 22% between 25 and 34. That's where everyone is dating. 17%, 35 to 44, 8%, 45 to 54, 6%, 55 to 64, and and 65 and older, 3%. You should be online dating no matter how old you are. Try it. It can't hurt you. Just be safe. Okay, number 8. How do I deal with rejection? Quickly, cut off your ex. Take things slow after you cut off your ex and are moving on to dating. Or rather, take your time. Maybe slow is not your speed, maybe fast is your speed. Fine, be fast. Maybe super slow is your speed and you're going to wait 3 years. Fine. But don't make the timing work for anyone's schedule but you. I'm not going to tell you that you should wait 90 days. That's ridiculous. I'm not going to tell you to wait 5 days. I'm not going to tell you to wait the length of your relationship plus 7. It's arbitrary. Wait a certain amount of time that you think works for you. If you change your mind, fine. If you start dating and realize, nope, not ready, stop. You're on your own timeline. Don't worry about anyone else. Talk out any problems you have, preferably with a professional who gets paid to listen to you talk about the problems you have with dating, any lingering issues with your ex, any sort of emotional heartbreak that you just can't get over. Talk it out with somebody. Maybe pay them to listen to you talk. Be open to new people. Just put yourself out there once you're ready. Meet someone new. Don't hold any grudges. And finally, and this is sort of a worst case scenario or best case scenario, sometimes you have to get under someone new to get over someone old. So go out and get you some if you need to. How do I improve my dating profile? Number 9. All right. Quickly, pick a good username. Nothing cheesy, nothing over the top, nothing sketchy or pervy. Do not put the number 69 in your username. Avoid cliches about yourself, your lifestyle, where you live, etc. You like to smile and have fun. Awesome. That's a cliche. Everyone likes to smile and have fun. All right. Avoid acronyms and internet speak. No LOL on your profile. Things like that. Avoid saying that online dating is weird. Sure, it's weird, except 2/3 of Americans do it. It's not that weird anymore. It's more than normal. It's more than average. Use up-to-date pictures and pictures that look like you. Don't Photoshop them, please. Have multiple pictures. And overall, be positive. Be positive about your experience. Positivity attracts people. It's just science. All right. Number 10 of the top 10. All right. How do I get out of a slump? And how do I get back out there in the dating world? The key is evaluation. And that's as simple as that. Figure out why you are in a slump. What's put you in a slump? Are you depressed? Is it your dating approach? Is it the type of people that you are talking to? Is it the type of people you're attracting? Now, your approach you can change. I've told you plenty of ways to change your approach. And really, the approach is one part of it. The people you attract is a little more difficult because maybe you're not finding the people that you find attractive are attracted to you. And of course, you can change that if it's a question of physical attractiveness. Maybe you need to work on yourself. If it's a question of I'm attracting all these people who are assholes, you can't change that assholes are attracted to you. Maybe you have an assertive personality, an aggressive personality, and people like that tend to attract assholes who are aggressive. You can't really change that. What you can change is who you choose to communicate with and who you choose to be with and who you choose to spend time with. So if you're finding that you're wasting your time talking to assholes, don't go on dates with assholes. If you recognize early on that this person is terrible, you won't be able to change them. And there's only so much changing that a person does. They only go so far before they say, nope, that's it. That's all I got. So evaluate why you're in that slump. And then from there, change it and work on changing it. Actively work on changing it. Next, when you're going on dates, or even if you're not going on dates anymore because you can't get dates, evaluate in the last year, or maybe more, depending on how long your slump is, what happened on those bad dates? And what happened on the dates that you thought went well but didn't go anywhere? Or think back to when dates were going well and you were not in a slump. What were you doing? What kind of energy were you giving off? What kind of vibe were you putting out there? What sort of point were you at in your life? Maybe it was a physical change that happened. And just be conscious that sometimes what was going on and why dates weren't working, you can't change. And some things you can change. So what can you change? What can you evaluate and change? And what can you evaluate and not change? Or evaluate everything and figure out what you can change and not change. And then from there, once you figured out, well, my approach was bad, I was being negative, or whatever you figure out is the reason why you're in the slump, practice going on dates. And if you still can't find dates, practice talking to people. Practice your approach. Practice being a person that attracts people. I'm not saying that you will automatically turn it around, but I've given you tips before, especially in the last episode, about how to flirt with people. Practice flirting. And not only practice your skill sets of how to attract people, try to be the person that puts themselves out there. Be confident. You're hanging out with your friends and they talk about a single friend you have. Say that you might be interested in meeting them. Maybe meet them. Practice getting them to want to go on a date with you. Go to bars. Talk to random strangers. They don't talk to you again, that's fine. Don't be creepy. Just be nice and initiate conversations. And once you do start getting out of the slump, well, once you start feeling as though you're not in a slump anymore, don't date with a goal in mind. When you go on these dates, it's not to get out of the dating slump. It's to go on a date. And at the end of the day, if it's good or bad, you should not have a specific goal in mind. Once you feel like you're out of a slump and you're thinking, oh, well, I can't wait to go on the next date with this person. No. Focus on that date. Make it great. Make it awesome. And think about the next date if they agree to the next date. But only after. Focus solely on the goal of being someone that people want to date. And there you have it. Top 10 greatest hits. Thank you all for listening, and good luck out there. Bye.